Fooled by Randomness, Chance's Role in Life and the Markets is a novel by Nassim Taleb that seeks to describe the role of randomness in life and how it can often be mistaken for skill. The novel begins with the tale of Solon's warning, a story of Croesus, a famously rich Greek king, and Solon, a well-known Greek lawmaker. Solon is told to have visited Croesus, and while visiting, Croesus got frustrated of Solon's lack of acknowledgement of his success. Croesus then asks Solon, "Am I not the happiest man ever?" To which Solon responds with the name of some man he thought to be happy who died in battle later. Croesus then asks again, wanting some praise, the same question. Solon then responds in a probably more eloquently put way. It isn't over until it's over. Basically saying, while chance may have stacked in your favor now, you never know what the end result is going to be until you have it. The book's overall goal is to challenge the reader to better recognize the randomness in life. The book cites many examples in which a bit of luck leads to overwhelming success. Taleb uses the stock market as the primary example due to the massive role of randomness and probability in such a market. Taleb warns not to have conceit against odds, citing the same people who gained success through chance and lost it all again through the same mechanism. However, the novel ends with a brief disclaimer, reminding the reader that everyone, even the author, is human and therefore fallible. Everyone in the end is fooled by randomness. The trick is to understand that probability is a real thing. Taleb spends the vast majority of the book judging others for seemingly arbitrary traits and expecting perfection of thought from other people. Overall, the novel's tone remains didactic and arrogant, leaving me as a reader a bit hesitant to accept his conclusions. However, the quality of content of the novel causes me to feel compelled to suggest the novel to others. Taleb's wide scope of perspective on the topic makes the book very enjoyable for just about anyone to read. He jumped from topics like history and finance to literature and science with ease, and was knowledgeable about most any topic. Additionally, most, if not all, of his main points resonated with me in some way or another. While his tone made me want to disagree with him, he was still making valid points that challenged my thinking. If you're looking for a book that challenges your thinking but is not your traditional self-help book, this is it. I think the most important thing I took away from this novel was to recognize how your own biases and environment shape your perspective. In one section titled Too Many Millionaires on Park Avenue, there is a couple who lives a rather dissatisfied life because they are comparing their lifestyle to the other people on Park Avenue, reminding me sometimes you have to take a step back and recognize the faults in your environment and biases in order to move forward. As I said before, the book quickly establishes that it is not your typical self-help book. In fact, it really is not a self-help book at all. However, it quickly proves useful in providing lessons that apply to many aspects of life, including leadership. Leaders tend to deal with more general issues where randomness becomes a more important variable to consider. The lesson I took away for when leading oneself is that a sense of humility and understanding is always necessary. In most parts of life, random events that you never expected to happen will inevitably happen, but you must prepare for the fallout, even if that is admitting you were wrong. When leading others, a very similar lesson is shown. Despite Taleb's tone, his points resounded with me due to their authenticity. At one point, Taleb is talking about the reverse Turing test, a test to see if a computer could replicate human speech, then the human is said to be unintelligent. This happens a lot with some leaders, where their pep talks are often sequences that any basic computer program can regenerate. Taleb goes as far as to suggest never working for such people. Taleb's writing screams authenticity, and I think possibly that in the end, that is what drew me to respecting him and accepting his conclusions. His attitude reminded me that although no one leadership style is the right one, being true to oneself is necessary for successful leadership. Lastly, leading in the engineering industry seems pretty to match pretty easily with this novel. Taleb, a former trader himself and now a risk management engineering professor, connects the idea of randomness and industry. Randomness is something that affects most large-scale professions pretty frequently. Engineering seeks innovative solutions to complex problems that require the ability to take in many different opinions and filter out the noise. I think that the lesson to learn is to understand that things happen and prepare to adapt.